So very much, members of Falun Dafa, friends of Falun Gong, supporters of human rights in China and indeed throughout the world, ladies and gentlemen. Yet one more year has passed as we gather together again to protest and condemn Chinese official repression of Falun Gong. It was my honor and my privilege to put forward in March a very important bill, House Resolution 605, recognizing the continued persecution, thank you, of Falun Gong practitioners in China on the 11th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party's campaign to suppress the Falun Gong spiritual movement. This resolution, which had 81 co-sponsors, thanks to all of you, passed overwhelmingly in the House of Representatives, that beautiful building behind me, with a vote of 412 in favor and only 1 against. Thank you to you for making that happen. And I noted at the time in March that I considered and still consider the Chinese Communist regime's obsessive and relentless hunting down of practitioners of Falun Gong to be one of the most flagrant examples of systematic persecution in the 21st century. Unfortunately, nothing has taken place in the last 4 months since the bill's passage to lead me to change that assessment. The persecution of Falun Gong is barbaric, it is bloody, it is brutal, and it must come to an end at once. Now, it has come to my attention that the butchers of Beijing now have a new trick up their sleeves in carrying out their systematic persecution. As with the case of those who disappeared in Burma following the 2007 Saffron Revolution, Beijing is now using a favored method of dictators to make supporters of Falun Gong simply vanish without a trace. The whereabouts of famous human rights lawyer and a defender of Falun Gong, Mr. Gao Zhisheng, remains a cause of deep concern for his family and his many supporters worldwide. Mr. Gao was taken away by secret police in February of last year, detained without a trial at an unknown location, and reportedly tortured. He resurrected briefly earlier this year at a Buddhist monastery in northern China, but now has disappeared again. Beijing's ruthless rulers are playing a cynical game of hide and seek with one of the leading human rights advocates in their country. I ask the rulers of Beijing, where is Mr. Gao? Where is Mr. Gao? Where is Mr. Gao? And I further ask them, what have you done with him and countless other courageous advocates for human rights and religious freedom? What have you done with the hundreds of thousands of political prisoners, the majority of whom are Falun Gong practitioners, who are languishing with the Chinese gulags? The blood of the persecuted and prosecuted Falun Gong practitioners in China will prove to be the seed for the revitalization of that democratic movement that was crushed in Tiananmen Square. We stand with the Falun Gong practitioners and their family members who have suffered prosecution, persecution, intimidation, imprisonment, torture, and even death for the past 11 years solely because of their adherence to their personal beliefs. I call on President Obama and leaders of other free democratic nations to meet with all of you and with the rest of the Falun Gong practitioners wherever and whenever possible to emphasize our unequivocal support for freedom of conscience as a fundamental principle of the United States government or of any democracy. And I pledge to all of you here that I will continue my efforts as an advocate for universal human rights and liberties for Falun Gong practitioners, for all prisoners of conscience, and the Chinese people as a whole. We hope that one day soon, we will no longer have to have this setting and this demonstration and this gathering, because all Falun Gong prisoners would have been released, and because China and the Chinese people would be free at last. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.